I bombed a kid's yard. Senior year of high school, it was like halfway through our cross country season. I don't know how it is now, but in 2016, Twitter beef was pretty hilarious because you're throughout the day you're tweeting at whoever it is from another high school, and since the tweets are based off of your location, everyone else, all these other high schools get involved, so it becomes, basically a beef through whatever region of high school you're in, and you're just talking shit, and it never matters the sport. Sometimes it's internal between other kids during the day. It's just Twitter was iconic for that. It was before everything would get canceled and taken down and all that bullshit. This all starts over a tweet. It was one of our rival cross country opponents, and this kid, I'll admit, this kid was a stud. He was probably, I think at the time, he was the number one individual runner in the region, but our team never lost to him. This kid had tweeted something at us. I think it was surrounding the lack of sportsmanship for us as cross country runners. For those of you who don't know, me and my buddies all got cut from other sports. We ran cross country. We talked a lot of shit. We would fight people during races. We were just not the most courteous runners, sportsmanship wise. We were out to win, and we won as a team. It was never pretty, but we usually won. So this kid had tweeted something at us along those lines. Me and my buddies were sitting in religion class before lunch, and I'm like, "Should we tweet back?" And they're like, "Yeah, fuck it." So me and my buddies are formulating tweets, of course, on my account, and we're tweeting back at this kid. So this beef goes on throughout the day for a couple hours. The kid ended actually roasted the shit out of me. Took the time to look up all of our individual stats, and he had beat me for 4 years in a row. And he took a bunch of screenshots of all the times he beat me and tweeted it out. It went almost viral, and I'm like, damn, I'm really getting flamed out here. But it was still funny to go back and forth with the kid because this kid was the best runner in the region. This is probably why he hated us, because he's a top five runner of the state. Kids go and D1 cross country, and these kids who don't even like the sport are talking shit to him. And our team, like I said, never lost to his team, so it had to piss him off. Get to practice at the end of the day. I think it was a Wednesday or Thursday, and my coach is like, Thomas, just stay off Twitter. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know you had Twitter. I'm sorry about that. He's like, look, I didn't even see the tweets. Just stay off Twitter. I'm like, fine. If you want to stay off Twitter, it's fine. We'll handle it other ways. Because at the time, and I'm just going to put this out there so TikTok and other fucking platforms don't take this shit down. I'm not condoning this behavior. I'm not encouraging you to go out and do it. But at the time, one of my buddy's dads taught us about these things called Works Bombs. You can find them on YouTube. There's nothing illegal. It's toilet bowl cleaner called the Works. Ball up aluminum foil, you put it in a plastic bottle, and the gas expands and it creates an explosion. It builds up in the plastic bottle. When you screw the lid back on, it sounds like a fucking cannon went off. I'm not talking firecrackers. I'm not even talking like artillery shell fireworks. I'm talking a fucking bomb. Like, it literally sounds like a cannon went off, and you can hear it from miles away. Like, it is a massive explosion. I'll just say it. We were professionals, myself especially at the time. I would have like 9 or 10 of these pre-made Works bombs loaded and ready to go before we went out messing with neighborhoods on the weekends, and I'd set them off and throw them in bushes, and they would explode. Again, I was a master at it, so we knew which bottles were the loudest and stuff, and since it was a Wednesday night, we knew the kid wouldn't be suspecting it, and we decided we were going to go pay him a visit. Now, how did we know where he lived? Great question. There was a time, again, 2016 social media, on Instagram, if kids didn't turn the setting off, you could see the location of where they were posting their pictures. So we go to this kid's Instagram, we find where he lived, and we said we're going to go pay him a visit. Now, a little bit more backstory on this particular individual. He was not only hated by us, he was that type of kid that would go down the line at a cross country or track meet and literally to 50 to hundreds of kids, he's asking, what's your personal record? What's your PR? Oh, that's your time? Cool, I'll beat it. And I was the type of kid, when you already don't care about the race and you got a fucking kid like that come up, it just pisses you off that much more. I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of my face. Like, if you're faster than me, just go be faster than me. I don't need you fucking announcing it to me because I don't fucking care. I don't want to be here anyway. Now you've pissed me off. So we go to this kid's house and we found where he lives. I had Beef do some recon. I have my buddies Griff, 7'5", Beef, Monty pick us up in Monty's Civic. I think we got dinner and then we rolled over to this kid's house. We've got forks, a jar of ragu pasta sauce. I have a gallon of bleach that I put in like one of those big twist off water bottles, and we had some eggs. So we pulled up to this kid's house, and of course we had one Works bomb. I said just one Works bomb, just one tonight. I'm not gonna go too far with it. And again, you gotta look these things up on YouTube. Works bombs. They're crazy. The sound of these things is ridiculous. And I never put them in a place where they would explode near anyone. I would put them in bushes or in the woods where you would still feel the impact of the sound, but it wasn't gonna, explode near where somebody would be walking or something like that. And we had tested out the explosion ourselves. In my yard, we spent hours testing which bottle would be the best and which explosion would be the loudest out of which bottle and how much aluminum foil versus the ratio of toilet bowl cleaner. Like I said, it was big time demon mode. We were menaces with this shit, and I had mastered how to professionally drop these bitches where I needed to drop them. We go to this kid's house. 7-5 is just spraying their garage door with ragu pasta sauce. Monty's putting forks in their yard. Griff's throwing eggs and toilet paper. And while they're doing that, I dump bleach in their yard. As what a stupid prank for the bleach, right? Like you're literally just killing grass. That's all I was doing. But to me, I did it in the shape of a dick, and that was enough for me to get a laugh out of it. So I threw my water bottle down, and I'm putting this works bomb together. I throw it in the bushes. We take off out of the neighborhood. And we were deep in the neighborhood, like 4 or 5 streets in, and they were on a cul-de-sac, like a double cul-de-sac, where you took a right onto a cul-de-sac road, and there was a hang of left halfway down the road, and there was another cul-de-sac, and that's where this kid's house was. So we take off out of there, and again, it takes 5 or 10 minutes for the works bomb to go off. So by the time we get to the edge of the road, you hear boom, like this massive explosion. We're all laughing our ass off because anytime we did a works bomb, we would literally either run away for a good distance and wait, or we would drive with our windows down so you could hear the bomb go off. Because for that, it just made it that much funnier for us. So we leave. The yard bomb has gone off, and we're out of there. And as we're driving down this main road, we're probably like 5 minutes away, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh man, guys, just being the paranoid kid that I was, I'm like, oh man, guys, I left that water bottle that had the bleach in the yard, and my buddy's like, so what? Who cares? I'm like, no, 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 it was a water bottle from downstairs. I feel like my dad wrote Ziegler on the top. Like, I think my name's on it. And they're like, what the fuck, Thomas? Like, what's wrong with you? You're gonna get us caught. And I'm like, I know. And they're like, you're taking all the blame for this. This is your fault. You're taking the blame if we get caught. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Well, let's go back and I'll get the water bottle. Like, I'm sure they've already walked out and it's done and over now. Because it was like 10:30 or 11 at night on a weeknight. So we get back in the neighborhood. It's been about 10 minutes since the bomb went off. And as we're coming to, because it was like 4 right turns and then left onto that kid's cul-de-sac street. So we come onto the last cul-de-sac before his, and as my buddy Monty's driving, he's about to take a left onto the kid's street. And my buddy Griff's like, stop, 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 stop. And again, it's five kids loaded in this Civic, and we all look, and you see like the spotlight coming from a cop car, and there's a sheriff. It's a county sheriff in this kid's yard, looking at everything that we just did. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. And again, that was the best part about the works bomb. It's a plastic water bottle, and when that stuff, the aluminum foil would evaporate basically because of the gas it's created when it combines with a toilet bowl cleaner. When it explodes, there's no evidence of it left. Like it's gone. Like maybe little shards of something, but you're not finding nothing. So Monty, like, finesses the turn, stays on the cul-de-sac road, loops around real quick, and we book it out of the neighborhood. I'm like, oh, that was a close one. And they're like, dude, what the fuck? He's got your name. He's going to have evidence. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I know. We are so fucked. And they're like, no, 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 Tom. You're fucked. This is on you. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it's on me. I'm sorry. Shouldn't say we. I'll take all the blame for it. We go to school the next day. And the best part about this, again, just the beauty of social media, this kid tweets out. Again, we had just had Twitter beef with this kid. And just how dumb. Like, he doesn't even put together that would be us. Apparently, this kid was, like, hated at his own high school. So he tweets out, whoever let off the firework and put the ragu pasta sauce on my mom's house, you're a douchebag. Like, does all this shit. And we got all the entertainment out of it because he's thinking it's a kid from his own high school, and it was us. But obviously, how would you suspect that we could find where you live? It blows over. Wait 2 or 3 days, and ended up finding out that that water bottle that I took didn't have my family name on it because we never got caught. But it was just one of those hilarious things. And the best part about it was especially just again the beef of it. Later that year, I mean, only two out of like the 6 buddies that we hung out with on the cross country team made varsity. It was me and another friend. So the night before our big regional race, which is like the race that determines if you go to state or not, at least it's what it was in Kentucky. My buddies, all of our senior buddies that were JV runners, went back to that kid's house and fucked with his house again, like egged his house and ran around his car, did a bunch of shit the night before the regional race. And during the race, as we were running by, again, the kid was like the best runner in our area, so he was top 5 of the race. My buddies, like Griff, M5, and all those guys, went down in the woods, and when he ran by, they were like, "Hey, we're the ones who fucked with your house last night." They said the kid during the race was like, "What?" and keeps running. So it was just hilarious, and I think he ended up getting, like, 2nd in that race. It really threw him off, I guess. But it was just so funny that that happened because, well, again, it was just one of those things, like, the kid was really good at running cross country, but he was just a douchebag at everything else. So it was so funny that that's how we ended up fucking with him, and in our heads, that was us getting even. But yes, works bombs, man. I've got a lot more stories about those. Again, not condoning the use of work bombs, not encouraging that behavior, so TikTok doesn't take this video down. But yes, works bombs were iconic, and if you don't know what they are, look them up on YouTube. I'm not saying you have to use them, but for those of you who like to mess with neighborhoods in high school, or those of you who like to just have some simple at-home science experiments, works bombs are awesome. They're fun. I feel like they may have changed the formula in the toilet bowl cleaner that worked for them, but now you know them. And that was 2016, a hell of a time with the works bombs. Got more works bomb stories to come, and and I also just I have gotten a new wave of followers on all my platforms, so I just want to say thanks for that. And I really, as a kid from Kentucky who just enjoys telling stories, I really never thought I I would build it to anywhere near where it is. And not even that I have a lot, but it's just cool to have some people on there that enjoy the stories. So shout out everyone who's out there, YouTube especially. Those are the real ones. Just want to say thanks for all the support. Don't plan on stopping anytime soon, and hoping to get to the point where my friends and family start to come on a little bit more so you can hear their perspectives of all these stories I have. But with that being said, hope everyone's well. Again, appreciate all love and support. And we'll be back soon. Talk to Tom. I'll be up in a way of the street getting big, but I can't even breathe no more. What's it to me? What can I see? Taking shots by the lake till I can't even breathe no more. See no more. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. And we're good.